Okay, so we just got done talking about greatest common factor. We've also been talking about least common multiple, and now we're going to start looking into where we would actually use these in the real world. How can we apply them to our lives? So with lesson 1.5, we deal a lot in word problems. And the big takeaway from this particular lesson is, what are we talking about? We need to dissect the word problem so we really know what we're dealing with. Toby is packaging 21 baseball cards and 12 football cards to sell at a flea market. Each packet will have the same number of cards. Okay, so I need the same number of cards. Same number is telling me I've got a common thing, a commonality, right? Each packet will have cards for only one sport. What is the greatest number of cards that he can place in each packet? The greatest number that they have in common. Greatest common, and I'm breaking them down into factors. So now I've taken my time to dissect the problem so I know whether I'm dealing with the greatest common factor or least common multiple, right? And I only want one sport in each pack, so I need the greatest common factor. How many packets will there be for each sport? Now, this last sentence is important to pay attention to, because not only can I solve the problem now, I need to be able to give the right answer. So if they said, how many packets will there be for each sport, or how many cards will be in each packet? Those are two different answers. So if I get the greatest common factor, I'm still not done. And on a test or a quiz or an assessment or in class, if you give me the greatest common factor and I asked for how many bundles, it's going to be a wrong answer. Okay? So what we want to do is take the same number with the greatest common factor. We pulled that out of our word problem. And how many packets will there be for each sport? So we have 12 football cards and 21 baseball cards. It's not going to have a whole lot to sell, but let's find out. We find our factors of 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Again, can you do this in your head? Sure. But if you write it out, you can go back and double check. Check your work. If you've moved on to another problem, then you go back to this one, you already have everything written out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 are the factors of 12, so let's do our factors of 21. 1 and 21, 3 and 7, and I'm done. Okay, so common numbers. I've got 1. I've got 3. I don't have any more. So greatest common factor, GCF, is 3. But that's not what it asked me, right? It says how many packets will there be for each sport. So in other words, if I take my 21 baseball cards and divide them by my common factor of 3, I would find that there are 7 packets. So I'm going to write that down here. 7 packets of baseball. And we need our football cards. 12 divided by 3 gives me 4 packets of football. If this were a word problem, it would say explain using numbers and words. That's a different answer altogether, because I don't have to just come up with an answer. I need to explain myself. So in that case, I might say something along the lines of, Toby is packaging 21 baseball cards and 12 football cards. I know that the greatest common factor of 12 and 21 is 3. Using the greatest common factor of 3, I divided both and realized that he will have 7 packets of baseball cards and 4 packets of football cards. So again, with this lesson, with 1.5, it's about using what we've already learned in a real world situation. And to do that, we need to read carefully and pull out the important information in our problems. Lastly, always go back and check. Does your answer what they asked? Again, if you told me the greatest common factor is 3, that's not the correct answer. That's what you would use to find the correct answer, but it's not the correct answer. So once you've gone through all of your problem and you've pulled out the important parts, you know how to solve it, always go back and double check. Did your answer what was asked? And if you do that, you'll have a lot of great success.